Hi guys, welcome back. So following on from South Africa's, well, quite frankly, inspirational win in the Rugby World Cup final, and even as an Englishman, I can absolutely appreciate that. It was phenomenal. They're world champions now, they're on a high, they've got a fantastic team, and I couldn't help turn my attention to the British and Irish Lions tour in 2 years' time. Won't that be fantastic? The British and Irish Lions touring to South Africa to take on the world champions, who are in a fantastic place. Most of the players that will have played in this World Cup for South Africa will be playing, hopefully. And can England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales put together a team that can match them? South Africa are going to be at home, they're going to be highly motivated. We can see they've got a game plan that, when they execute it as well as they did in the World Cup final, is incredibly hard to beat. So what a great challenge. So here's my team, my 23, that I think possibly could take on this team and have a good chance. The rules I'm using, guys, is I'm going to take the form from the World Cup, but I'm not going to exclude players that maybe didn't feature in the World Cup or got injured or quite early on. And also I'm going to factor in they're going to be 2 years older. So I'm going to talk about some ages which might include people or exclude people as well. And I want you guys to play along in the comment section, and just make a note that the comment section's a really safe place to comment on each other's stuff. Be creative, be analytical, but obviously be friendly as well. There's a zero abuse tolerance there in the comment section, so you won't get any of that compared to other places. So please do comment with your teams as to why either you agree or disagree with my selections and what yours would be, because that is the whole fun of sport. So, in a loose head, I've had a good think about this. Players that have performed well, like say Cian Healy for Ireland, he'll be around 34 come that British and Irish Lions tour. Kilcoyne, his understudy, will actually be 32. Now, it's not unknown for a prop to carry on into 30s for sure. Now, Joe Marler's another guy I considered, but he probably won't be playing international rugby, but that doesn't mean you can't get called up for the British and Irish Lions. He'd be 30, so they could call him up, but again, it's a long shot. Would he want to? Mako Vunipola would be 30 and still, probably playing well, but that beating he got in the scrum in the World Cup final, that's certainly playing on my mind whilst picking this team. So I haven't picked any of those guys. I've actually gone for starting as Rhys Carey of Wales. And he's actually moving to Saracens, so we can watch him very carefully in the Premiership to see how he's doing. He'll be 23 years old, which is quite young, but already in the World Cup he's looked like he's not out of place. He's a huge guy. I think he's got a huge future. Being at Saracens, I think, will accelerate his progression. So I'm actually putting him into start. It's a bit of a prediction, but it's good fun. And on the bench, I'm putting in Ellis Genge, another youngster who I think is going to really improve and be a real powerhouse as well. So two powerful guys there at loose head and two younger guys I'm going for. Okay, at hooker, tricky one. Ken Owens will be 34. I don't know if that's going to be a bit old. Sean Cronin has been Rory Best's understudy, but he'll be 35 come this tour. McInally of Scotland will be 30, so he'll certainly be in the zone. But did he perform that well in this World Cup? I don't know. He might come back into it. So I'm starting Jamie George of England. I thought he's had a very solid World Cup. British and Irish Lion already. He'll be 30 years old, so he's starting for me. And I think Elliot Dee is a good bet to be in this squad as well. He played very well for Wales as Ken Owens' understudy. And he's improving all the time. He's only young. So I think Elliot Dee on the bench at hooker. Okay, tight head. I think a massive loss for England in the World Cup final was when Carl Sinclair had to go off. We don't know if it would have changed anything, but I really think he's got the strength, the power and the handling to be an absolute force in the game. He'll be 28 years old come the Lions tour, so I'd put him in. I'd also consider Thomas Francis and Dylan Lewis of Wales. Let me know if you'd put them in instead, because they're very fine players. But actually on the bench, I've gone for the sheer bulk and power of Tadhg Furlong. Sure, Ireland haven't had a great World Cup, but he's a class player. He'll still be young enough. I think he'll be a fantastic player to either start or come off the bench. Second rows I've actually found a bit easier. The two outstanding second rows for me Come that British and Irish Lions tour will be Maro Itoje and James Ryan. Itoje will be 27, Ryan 24. They're already some of the best performers in their teams. I thought Itoje was fantastic in this World Cup, and even though Ireland had a disappointing World Cup, James Ryan has always stood out. In the 2018 season that wasn't great for Ireland, he was good in almost every single match, and so much so I'd make James Ryan the captain. Fresh start, no baggage over South Africa. I'd make Ryan the captain with Itoje. Players that were close to making it, Johnny Gray, I think could be good in South Africa. Now, I should say, this side I'm picking is to face South Africa, the challenge they bring specifically. So I'm looking for players that can stand up physically first of all, and then hopefully have some extras over that. Johnny Gray, Jake Ball could be very good, very combative. George Cruz, he'll be 31, but he could still be in the frame, fantastic in the set piece. But actually on the bench, I've gone for Alan Wynne-Jones. I know he'll be, 36, something like that, come this World Cup, come the British and Irish Lions tour. But if he's carrying on the way he's going, I reckon he'll still be in good shape. Real old campaigner. If you want someone in the trenches to fight for you, he's the man. So the granddad of the tour, Alan Wynne-Jones, goes as his final hurrah. Now, back row. They had to be really strong, really combative, absolutely stand up to the physical threat of the likes of Pieter-Steph du Toit and Dwayne Vermeulen. So I think at 6 I would put Aaron Wainwright. He's been brilliant for Wales, so physical already. Come this tour, he's going to be in his 20s still. He's going to be really, really strong. He was strong already. He's going to be an absolute beast, I predict. So I'd start Wainwright. And on the bench, I wouldn't take a 6 actually. I'll come to the bench in a minute, but other 6s I considered were Josh Navidi, Moriarty, and also Bradbury of Scotland. I think Bradbury of Scotland is an absolute beast. He's really can be a real head-down runner, he's a big tackler. He's 26 come that tour. He could be interesting. Moriarty likes a fight as well, but I've gone with Wainwright. Very happy with that. And his partner is someone maybe we've just forgotten about slightly. A 7, out-and-out 7, but unbelievably physical. I've gone for Dan Levy. He'll be 27 come this tour. He's an absolute beast of a ball carrier, strong over the ball. Hopefully he comes back from his knee injury. I'm assuming here he does. So he's in at 7. And on the bench, I do have 7 cover, and that's Hamish Watson, a guy we didn't see enough of in this World Cup. If he's at his best, he is a powerhouse and a specialist 7 as well. So I like those 2 7s to face South Africa. At number 8, I've got 2 clear candidates for me. One that played a lot in this World Cup, that's Billy Vunipola. But I'm actually using him on the bench as an impact sub. The more all-round class, your number 8, was a guy we didn't see in this World Cup, and that's Talupe Faletau of Wales. He's a class operator. Strong, good in the line out, good skills, quick round the park. He'll be still in his prime come that tour, so I'd definitely take Faletau as a starter. Other guys I'd consider, Navidi and Moriarty I've mentioned, could definitely do a job there. And also watch out for young Dombrandt of Harlequins. He's a physical specimen. 2 years' time, he could be in the mix. Certainly a lot of these guys I'm talking about in the mix could well be in the wider squad. I'm just talking about the matchday 23. Moving on to number 9. Now this is a tricky one. Thomas Williams of Wales will be 26, Ali Price will only be 28, and they're definitely my consideration. But Gareth Davis would be 30. I'm assuming he's still playing and still playing well. He looked like the best 9 out of those nations in the World Cup. So I'm going to go for Gareth Davis to start. And maybe a slight surprise on the bench. Now the bench, I'm picking a 6-2 split. Similar to South Africa did in the World Cup. To combat what they're bringing, I'm going to do the same. But the 9 on the bench, I'm taking George Horne of Scotland. I think he's an absolute star in the making. He could well be starting for them very soon. And as an impact sub 9, he's absolutely perfect for me. So watch him. 10's tricky. Dan Bigg will be 32. He'll be very good against South Africa. We'll still have Ford will be around. Hastings of Scotland will have had another couple of years to mature. But I'm sticking with Owen Farrell. He's been, with Sexton probably too old. He's been the Lions' go-to number 10. He'll be 30, so he'll still be hopefully playing well. And as a combative 10, I would put him in, even though he's been burnt, obviously, in the final. On the bench, I do have a 10, but someone who can cover other positions as well, and that's Joey Carberry. I think he could really make a run at the British and Irish Lions team. I think he's going to get better and better, hopefully playing for Ireland at number 10 over these next couple of years. And I just think he's incredibly talented. Okay, centres, tricky stuff. I need centres who are going to really take it to South Africa. So I've gone for two big powerhouses, Manitou Alangi at 12 and Chris Farrell at 13. Farrell will be 28. Tuolangi, obviously depending on fitness, but hopefully he'll still be around. I'd also considered Ringrose as well at 13. He's not been on form recently, but he's a high quality player. But I'm not so sure about that pairing, so let me know if you've got a better one. Jonathan Davis might just be getting on a bit too much, but he could well be in there. If he's fully fit playing, as he has been when he's younger, then he'd definitely be in. But I'm just assuming he's a little too old now. So Tuolangi and Chris Farrell. Finally, in the back three, we've got Thokanasiga at 11. That big, powerful winger. He wasn't deemed rounded enough to play for England in this World Cup, but I think he's going to be an absolute beast in the next couple of years. And Josh Adams. Josh Adams will only be 26 come this tour. He's been a fantastic player for Wales ever since he came into the side. A fantastic World Cup debut for him, and also scored a load of tries, top try scorer. So Josh Adams in, and I'd also considered Watson and May, the other English wingers, in and around the squad. At fullback, though, there is one outstanding candidate. That's Liam Williams. Class all-rounder. Wales really missed him in this World Cup when he got injured. He'll be 30, so hopefully he should be still good. Stuart Hogg may still be around. He'd be 29. He needs to find some form, of course. And I'd also consider Watson as well at 15. Anyway, guys, that's my 23. I think it's a 23 specific to taking on South Africa. It's a bit of fun, but let me know what you think of that team and put your teams in below. And if you do want to get any stash, obviously use my 10% code up there. Use the links in below if you want to for all of those nations I've been talking about. Anyway, guys, I'll be back soon, and until then, I'll catch you later.